I made a video already on JaclynGlenn before, and it was in reference to a video response she received, back when YouTube still allowed that feature. And it was a response to her video entitled 10 Things That Christians Should Know About Homosexuality. And it was a response from a young man who was self-proclaimed Christian. And he was saying, well, I'm a Christian, and I'm not like those Christians that you describe in your video. And she made the video response, and she called the video "Another Butthurt Christian," and she just basically goes on and belittles the guy and just berates him, and she even insults him, calls him a moron and everything like that. Kind of just turned me off. She comes off arrogant. I know that's a bold statement to make, but hopefully that ties into the whole point I'm trying to make of this video, because it kind of has an interesting end to it, I think, anyway. Hopefully that if she does watch this, she would at least take a second to think about it. And let me state the record, I believe in God. So before you jump down my throat saying, "Oh, you're just mad because she's attacking some imaginary creature that you believe in that you think's in the sky," well, no, that's not it. It's she's entitled to her opinion, and I'll respect that. Just like I hope she respects my opinions and the points I'm going to bring up. Got them right here. I just wrote down everything like that. I don't want to, I watched 3 of her videos I'm going to reference to. I wrote down points, so I didn't take any of her quotes out of context or put any words in her mouth like that, and so forth. So, but I believe in God. But see, the thing is, I don't know if I believe in an afterlife. I don't know if I believe in a heaven and hell. I wonder if you just experience eternal nothingness. But then I wonder some crazy things like, is the devil just God's abrasive? I just keep thinking stuff all the time, and that's what I think. Atheists, they claim to be free thinkers and logical thinkers. I think that's kind of a quality that they, deem themselves to have. But I'm constantly thinking all the time. I'm not just simple-minded like they claim Christians, and which JaclynGlenn basically does too, that saying Christians are just one-minded, which she kind of comes off that way as well, because science and everything like that, and I could talk about that as well. But just to get started now, the first video that I'll be talking about, or bring up points in, is about her. She made a video response into this movie trailer for a movie that's coming out in 2014 entitled "God's Not Dead." And in it, it's a professor at a college who is a big-time atheist, I guess, and there's this new student, and he basically, it's like they have it, there's going to be a climax where they, fight their viewpoints, and I guess the Christian's probably going to come out on top and convert the atheist professor into believing in God. Now she mentions in her video, about how the trailer badly portrays atheists about being more or less assholes. But the thing is, she comes off a bit abrasive though in her videos about how she, the majority of her videos, like I said, I referenced about her video "Another Butthurt Christian," she kind of comes off a bit abrasive and more or less comes off like an asshole. I'm just calling it as I see it. I'm not saying you are, but I'm just saying in that particular video, at least when I'm referencing, you did come off like an asshole. Now, I'm not saying that all atheists are like that. I want to make that clear. And like I said, I'm not saying you are, just saying that you come off arrogant and come off like an asshole. But you kind of do prove the point of the whole for the whole movie that is going to be coming out. The whole concept of the movie seems to be about how the people who believe in God are constantly mocked for said belief, but you kind of mocked Christians then, and go to the 428 mark of this video entitled that you made "God's Not Dead," and that's kind of what I'm referencing, so that will save me some time there. But again, as I continue, again, you mock about how the student in the trailer stands up for what he believes in is allegedly right and everything like that. But Jaclyn, you in your videos stand up for what you believe in as well. So why should you mock him just because, okay, yeah, you say it's not logical, everything like that, fine, whatever. But why shouldn't why shouldn't, let's take the movie aspect out of it. Why shouldn't a regular person in real life have a belief and stand up for what they believe in, and express their love for God, and their belief, and express it just like you do in your videos? And I guess, ironically, you could say, well, why are you questioning me, basically, right? But there's a point to all this and everything like that. But you stand up for what you believe in. So I mean, I don't see why it's wrong for someone who has just a simple belief to stand up for what they believe in. Now I know there's some extremists out there, and that's both sides. But I mean, trust me, I get turned off by the Christian whack jobs as well, and it's really frustrating because it's just because if I have a different opinion on how God might work, well, no, because you're going to hell, or that's not how God works. How do you know that? So I can understand that with what you're coming from, but uh, you and your you yourself do stand up for what you believe in by presenting your viewpoints of atheism. And then around the 540 mark, you make a sarcastic remark about how religious people never push their beliefs onto people, when in reality, on your videos, you do kind of push your viewpoints. I don't want to say beliefs because ironic is lack thereof and everything like that with atheism. But in your videos, and the mannerisms that you come across with, you do come off arrogant, and you do come off as an asshole. I don't want to say that you are, because that's not what I'm trying to say. You are basically doing what, how you mocked, you said in a sarcastic manner. I know you're saying that Christians do that, and like I even said that there's Christians I can't stand that are, because I might have a different viewpoint of how God works, they just automatically say I'm going to hell. But you do kind of try to push your viewpoints on how people should think, and it's, again, this is all going to be tying back to something very interesting that I get to. But the next video that I watched, and it was an interesting one, and I made sure I watched all of it too, and it was entitled "A Poem for God." Now, I want to let you know, like I said, I watched all of it. I know the poem that was written. It was written by you. So, I mean, it's kind of, but that kind of makes this video more interesting, the one I'm making here. And but in the beginning of it, though, you state that, just want to make sure I get it here. But well, actually, I just want to say that, because you're no different than the typical Bible thumping Christian who doesn't want to hear your reasons or beliefs because it does not correlate with theirs. Something like, like I said about how if a Christian who's trying to push their viewpoints on me about how God works, and if I just think, well, maybe no, you're going to hell. That's kind of, you kind of do the same thing. No, you do the same thing. I don't want to say kind of. I gotta sack up and show some balls when I'm trying to make an argument here. But you made the statement, though, that science has given us a lot of answers. It hasn't given us every answer, but just because you don't have every answer doesn't mean you can use the God of gaps theory, saying, well, if we can't explain this, then it must be God. But see, the thing is, science isn't always accurate and everything like that. The theory, everything always gets debunked. Like, for example, it's the whole, gosh, I'm trying to think of that. Global warming, that's been disproved and everything like that. And then evolution, it's like a test of time, or not. I just don't want to sound ignorant, because I mean, when I look up evolution, I know it's about the evolving and everything like that. But I don't want to get too off base here. But it's kind of like, if someone, you don't want to hear people, like I said, Christians don't want to hear well, your beliefs, because, well, if it doesn't correlate with theirs, you're going to hell. And it's kind of like, well, if someone doesn't have the same viewpoints as yours, you don't want to hear it. They're illogical, they're ignorant and stuff, so they're just stupid. So it's just kind of the same thing, that's the vibe. That is the same thing. I'm gonna stop trying to use kind of. I want to stack up and try to make my point and stick to it. But though because you even admit, like, hold on a second, like I said, I'm reading, and I don't want to take any of your words out of context. So you immediately, don't want. But yeah, like I said, and then though you just basically finished in summing up this thing, though, that even though you admit, though, that science does not have the answer to everything. I mean, I'm not trying to say, well, it's God, but it's always, there's something that's greater than man himself. And it's something probably that maybe the human mind will never be able to comprehend, I think. But again, that's a different case. And then in the third video, just want to make sure I have it right. This one's the interesting one. It was entitled. I want to make sure. Well, no, I didn't get to that yet. But in the video, you're hoping. Okay, going back to your video. I'm sorry. I gotta make sure of these stupid papers. But in the video of the poem for God, you hope people can change and not be deluded into basically believing in God. And to me, that's just like the Christian trying to get an atheist to find God. Both are trying to convert. So you kind of, there I go again with kind of, you do the exact extreme opposite of what a Christian does. And then in your Christians versus atheists video, you state around the 50-second mark. This is now the third video of the 3 that I mentioned I was reviewing and did my fact checking on. Around the 50-second mark, you said, quote, that people are too quick to judge and say how they feel and be really outgoing about it and push it on everyone else to feel justified, so they feel justified in what they believe. And based on your videos, you do that as well. You are very abrasive, outspoken. You wear your atheism viewpoints on your sleeve, and it shows in your video. And I just want to make sure I get this point here, but just like basically the whole, you think someone's not logical just because they believe in God or something like that, which gets to but this leads up to the whole interesting point of this video, I guess. Now, you said you did believe in God, and that you were thankful that the people reached out to you and to not being so deluded and not being brainwashed and everything like that. Whatever, to each his own. Good for you. I'm glad that you're happy with who you are. That's all that matters. But you said in the video about Christians versus atheists, who is right, and you said, quote, don't do the same thing that you hate people doing to you. That this doesn't make any sense. Basically, now you're preaching to others about why atheism and why science, is the logical thing, and why people are ignorant to believe in God and they're just mindless drones and everything like that. But I don't think this had to deal with. I don't think you should just say, well, that was because I was brainwashed. That's why I said that. I don't think I had to deal with that. I'm not looking at it from that aspect. I'm looking from it that you should heed your own advice, and you should take it and just not be so jumping down people's throats, so to speak. Before I get to the end of this, keep doing your thing. Keep presenting your viewpoints, your facts. You're a very smart person, but you're very, very arrogant at times. Whether you mean to come off that way, I don't know. But this, I just think, not think, but you are, I just think you, sorry, but the fact is, though, this whole turnaround, you did a complete 180, extreme 180, a polar opposite of what you were. And I mean, though it didn't seem like you pushed your religious beliefs on people, you did say that people shouldn't judge you and everything like that. Well, ultimately, you're judging others who do have a belief in God now, because now that you're an atheist and that science has saved you, or showed you the way, or whatever how you might want to say it. But one thing I do want to ask, though, and like I said, keep making your videos. Just do what you stand up for what you believe in. Just like you think you were making a joke about how the student in that film was standing up for God and what he believes in. But seriously, I'm being straightforward with you and honest when I say keep doing what you believe in. Just follow what your heart tells you. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. And I guess ironically, you could make, well, you're trying to do this video. I'm not really trying to. I'm just trying to understand and trying to point out some things that it just why I'm making the points I'm trying to make and why I made this video. And like I said, you made an extreme 180 and are a polar opposite of what you used to be, I guess, based off your videos, that is. But before I go, I guess if you do happen to watch this, there are two questions for you I have. One, jokingly, do you believe in the quote that there is no such thing as atheists in a foxhole? But on a more serious note, when you used to believe in God, or the God that you did believe in, what kind of God was he like? And what were the, I guess, what did you believe in an afterlife, I guess, when you did believe in God? Or did you believe in a heaven and hell necessarily? That's all I just wanted to finish with. Sorry for not being the most organized, but like I said, I didn't want to take any of your quotes out of context and misrepresent you in any way. But I do think, no, you do. I believe you come off arrogant. Like I said, I don't know if you mean to, but this is just from my perspective, and I'm sure many others see it as well. But I guess I'm going to be the one with the balls to say it and make the video and get the backlash, because I know you have a lot of support and a huge fan base, and I'm going to get a lot of backlash from it. So be it. I mean, I'm sure you're going to disagree with me, but I think there's one thing that you could agree with, that I'm standing up. Well, I'm speaking out against the masses and sharing my viewpoint. I'm sure that you would actually encourage that. So that's just what I wanted to say. And for everyone out there that else might be watching this, I'll leave a link to my Facebook page for my YouTube channel, so you can keep up with updates and everything like that. Feel free to let me know what you think about this video. Like I said, I know I'm not the most well organized, and sometimes, especially when I make notes like this, and it was kind of on a whim, and I do unedited, so call me lazy if you will. But this is just how I do. I just do it for fun, but at the same time, though, I do address matters that I do have questions about. So, like I said, I'll leave a link in the description below. I also have a Twitter. I'll leave a description to that. And also, view JaclynGlenn's videos. Go to her Twitter, follow her. I mean, like I said, she's a very smart girl, but can be arrogant. Comes off as arrogant. I don't want to say she is, because I don't think she tries to be honest with you. But anyway, with that said, as always, I'm Nam, and always use your noodle.